Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 1700 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight on Eyewitness News.
Far too many lives have been lost on this highway, and the nation cannot continue to accept these recurring tragedies as inevitable. The Minority Caucus therefore makes a strong national appeal to the government to urgently prioritize the completion of all ongoing sections of the Accra-Kumasi Highway, including the existing bypasses and other outstanding works.
Minority in Parliament demands swift completion of the Accra-Kumasi Highway to prevent increasing number of road accidents, the latest involving a state transport company bus. We'll be hearing from the company. Also, coming up, Ghana Private Road Transport Union GPRTU to make major announcement about possible fare increments following rising fuel prices. We'll be hearing from the GPRTU shortly. And later on the show, bribe payments increased to 18% in late 2025. That's according to the Ghana Statistical Service. We understand what exactly that means. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. We have business news later on the show from the City Business Desk. We have Talkback, where we'll be receiving your messages on WhatsApp number 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. You can also mention my handle at Umaru Sanda or at City973, and the world will hear what you think. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We start off with road accidents. Yesterday, we reported for you some road accidents that were recorded on the Kumasi Highway, Accra-Kumasi Highway. Tonight, the Minority Caucus in Parliament has issued a statement, and it is titled Statement by the Minority Caucus on the fatal accident on the Accra-Kumasi Highway at Brimso Bridge. Says the Minority Caucus of Parliament has received with profound sorrow the news of the tragic road accident that occurred yesterday at Brimso Bridge on the Accra-Kumasi Highway. At least 15 people are feared dead following a devastating multi-vehicle collision on the Kumasi-Accra Highway. On behalf of the Minority Caucus, we extend our deepest condolences to the bereaved families. We also sympathize with those who sustained injuries and wish them a speedy and full recovery. We share in the grief of the affected families and stand in solidarity with all those who have been impacted by this heartbreaking tragedy. This unfortunate incident is yet another painful reminder of the urgent need to address the long-standing safety challenges on the Accra-Kumasi Highway. Far too many lives have been lost on this highway, and the nation cannot continue to accept these recurring tragedies as inevitable. So this statement is signed by Honorable Kennedy Nyakun Ose. He's a ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee. He's actually joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my brother Amoro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a conversation with you yesterday. Good to have you again tonight, except that on a very, very sad situation, the accident situation. Did this happen in your constituency, considering that the Accra-Kumasi Highway runs to lots of constituencies in the eastern region?
No, I mean, my constituency is far away from where the spot that happened, but it's of concern to everybody. So, it is not an issue whether it happened at my constituency, but it's a public concern. So the minority decided to just issue a statement to that effect, yes.
What understanding have you gotten in relation to what may have caused the accident and the number of lives that were lost? Have you got any official statistics that you're working with?
First of all, let me say a very good evening to your cherished listeners and those who are watching us from wherever location they are. And thank you very much too for giving me the opportunity to also speak on your enviable platform. Yes, yesterday there was a very sad news. All of us, I'm sure, you heard about it, involving some vehicles, STC, and some other tanker and some other cars that were involved in this whole tragic accident that happened at Brimstone on the Accra-Kumasi highways. It was a head-on, per the information that I'm getting, it was a head-on collision that happened. I mean, this head-on collision is a common accident that normally happens on the Accra-Kumasi highways, depending because of the nature of the road. That is how it is. It's a single-lane road, so definitely, if you are not careful, and either you want to overtake and you don't have a clear vision or a clear way ahead and you try to do, sometimes you may want to even crash with the oncoming vehicles, and sometimes stationary vehicles too, you may think that they are moving, and because you are unaware you may also crash too. So that road has become a death trap. I mean, and from the minority point of view, I think it is time for us to pay a proper attention to it, devoid of any politics or partisanship position. If you are talking about one of the busiest and the economic route in this country, the Accra-Kumasi highways, it connects 10 regions out of the 6. So those going to Eastern region, they uses part of the road. Those going to Ashanti, those going to the 5 northern region, those going to 3 brown regions, they all pass through this stretch. So it tells you how important this road is. So the issue that people normally raise that, and that road, it leads to Ashanti region, so MPP should have fixed it. I mean, sometimes when you listen to such commentary, I become so sad. This is a national road that we need to prioritize it and develop it. I know past government have tried because of the cost involved in constructing almost about 255 kilometers. I mean, no government have been able to commit the needed resources to do it. But bit by bit, started from President Kufuor, who tried to dualize the road and did a portion of it. President Kufuor also continued, and was even trying to do bypasses as part of it. As we speak now, almost about 120 to 130 kilometers out of the 250 kilometers have been dualized. What it is left now is about 100 plus kilometers, which we need to find the money to dualize it. Most of this accident that we have been recording on this Accra-Kumasi highway, we would have solved it if we had been able to dualize all the road. We would have solved it. Would have reduced the accident significantly, would have even, apart from reducing the traveling time, would have reduced it if you have been able to dualize this stretch. But it's like every government comes and it has its own priority areas where they want to focus, abandoning a very strategic and very economic route, which is so important and very dear to the heart of this country, which opens up the economic frontiers of this country, and we are abandoning it. Nobody cares about it. They think that one government has to do it because it leads to their stronghold, and that has been the argument, and that is why you could see the NDC government comes in, they pay little or no attention to it, and that is very frustrating. Because people are dying each and every day on that stretch. And we are not concerned about the lives, the precious life that we are losing. And we think that, it should have been the responsibility of one government, and nobody is, so it saddens my heart. And that is why the minority have raised an issue.
Are you not being hypocritical playing the ostrich at best. You have been in power for 8 years, and before then, Kufuor had been in power for 8 years. Together, you've been in power for 16 years. In fact, the last NPP administration had a regional minister from the Eastern region. You slept on the job, only for you to realize suddenly that there's a need to fix the Accra-Kumasi highway. I mean, that sounds very hypocritical from where I am sitting.
I wouldn't want to tone the line, because if I should respond directly on the same way that you have, the question you have, it will become partisan. So I will try to move away. I wouldn't want to make that kind of argument. But what I want to
you are the one who introduced
clear,
the politics part. You just mentioned NDC a short while ago. I didn't introduce that. You did.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, if I want to go into that tangent, that we had 8 years, I would have I will chronicle the number of years other political parties who has had.
I have done it for you already. I said you have done 16 years, and I said that the last 8 years you had a regional minister from the Eastern region. So you should be the last people talking about the second road minister from the Ashanti region. So exactly what are you saying?
So let me respond quickly. You know, that route does not belong to any political party. It belongs to Ghana. And if you want to pay attention to a government that has been so committed in fixing that road and dualizes it, it is the MPP government. It started from President Kufuor. President Kufuor started it from Ofanko, did everything. Okay, he ended everything straight to Suhum when President Nana Addo Dankwa came. He continued from there to Apeja Junction. And right after Apeja Junction, the decision was that if we want to fix the remaining section of the road and ease traffic and also prevent or reduce the rate of accident, the engineers advised, then that means we need to dualize a certain portion through bypasses. And that is where the President Nana Addo and his government decided that if that is the advice from the engineers, then we should quickly do it, because it was going to be very difficult to dualize the entire section that was left to Kumasi because of the physical, demand that will be put on the government. There was no money, we didn't have the entire funding to construct all. And there was no other alternative route that would have fixed it, that would lead to, if he decided to fix the entire Kumasi stretch. So the argument that MPP had 16 or 18 years, I have demonstrated to you that it has taken the MPP government alone to try to dualize the Accra-Kumasi highways. Tell me which government has decided to dualize it.
What percentage of the road did you succeed in dualizing within the 16 years that you have been in government as a
all the over 118 to 20 kilometers of the road have been dualized by the MPP government.
Oh, really?
All the 100, yes.
Have you heard
all the 120 have been dualized by the MPP government?
Have you heard that?
You can tell me.
Have you heard that President Mahama is trying to construct a new dual carriageway from Accra to Kumasi using a shorter route? Do you think that will solve the problem?
A very fantastic idea. All of us support the expressway because Kumasi needs an alternative route that will lead to Kumasi, so that pressure will not be one. All of us are supporting the expressway that President Mahama and his government want to construct. An excellent project. But it is a long-term project. It's not a medium, a short-term project. A project that will take a minimum of 60 months and a maximum of 80 months to be completed. What it means is that even President Mahama itself cannot even complete that road before he exits office.
He said he will do it. He said he'll do it in 3 years.
It is not true.
It
is never true.
Because what? You see it on the first or
let me tell you, it is not the first time an expressway has been constructed in any part of Africa or even in the world. Kenya constructed the Nairobi highways, which is 24 kilometers. It took them 24 months for them to do it. Ethiopia constructed the Adamaboro highway, which is 78 kilometers. It took them 48 months to construct it. Even if you have all the money plus the construction challenges that you face. If you have the money sitting down, you cannot construct a 198.7 kilometers that the expressway, the government want to construct. You can even do it within even 48 months. It is never true. Ask all the experts, the engineers, they will tell you. But I don't want to. Maybe the president's intention is to complete a portion of it. So maybe he will do the project in lot. So maybe 198.7, maybe you divide it into maybe 5 or 6, and when he completes even one lot, he is able to fix it. But how can you, if you fix one lot and it leads to nowhere, what will be the importance of that? So we all support. One
last question before you go.
Yes.
Your constituency is in the Eastern region. Are you suggesting that there are no contractors on the original Accra-Kumasi highway working on the dualization? Is it the case that that's not happening at all?
Please, since the government took over, all the 8 bypasses that they were doing, I want to challenge you. Just send your camera mess there and see whether if there is any. Some of them have even grown weeds and they have overgrown. We just go there and see. An investment that we have used the taxpayers' money to do it. Go there. It has even those ones that they fixed, some that have gotten to even 70% completion, 80%, 65%. Go there and see. They have deteriorated to the extent that even today, if government should decide that they want to go there and fix that road, it is going to cost them twice of the money they could have spent earlier on to fix it. That is why we are saying that is not the right thing for us to do.
All right.
We need to prioritize it and get it fixed. Whilst government is putting its house in order to construct the expressway, which all of us support it should find a way. And that is why we are asking government that if you have $1.7 billion sitting in an escrow account at the Bank of Ghana, we don't need much to fix the existing or the deplorable section on the Accra-Kumasi. The current road minister, Honorable Governors Agboja, he told Parliament that the government will need 3.4 billion to finish that section of it. I think 3.4 billion is just roughly about $300 million. If you have 1.7 and we are taking 300 million, it means government will be left with 1.4 billion sitting in the account.
Okay.
And why are we not being proactive, pragmatic, and fix this? How many more lives do we want to lose on the Accra-Kumasi stretch before we say, "Oh, it is enough, it's enough"? So now let us go back. That's why we are pleading with the president. If you read the tone of our press statement, it was not partisan. We are pleading with the government. Yes, you want to leave a legacy. You want to leave a road that can be named after you, which we agree. Every government would want to leave a legacy, but we are pleading with you. We cannot leave that legacy at the expense of precious lives. Losing more lives on our road. That is the position on the minority.
Again, just quickly before you go, how did you come by the 15 death? The number of deaths? How did you put that at 15? Who gave you that figure? Is it an independent figure?
Okay, so when the incident happened, definitely fire service and other people have gone there. So we have written the statement, our statement, based on the account of the fire service and other agencies that went there on the scene and saw the number of dead or people who died on the spot as a result of the accident. So that is what we are using. We just want to use the conservative figures. We are told they are even more than that. Some are saying 20 and not, but we want to rely on the expert on account response than to go and quote certain figures. Whether even if it was one life that was lost at that during that incident, it's a precious life that we have lost. So I don't want to put the numbers on it. We are much concerned about the rampant accidents happening on that road.
Because we are on national radio, I have just checked, and I think almost all the reports are suggesting 7. So that's why I was curious how you came by 15.
I don't know where the report got the 7 from, but
in fact, the fire service PRO for the Eastern region told us 3. Now the 7 is just injuries, not number of deaths. That's what I'm saying so far. So I just wanted us to be on the same level. Unless you had some concrete evidence.
Maybe unless they have, there's a special, there's an official statement coming from either the fire service or the police, but on the spot account that we also got from those who took part or those who were around, witness account, and even the fire service themselves during the incident. So I don't know whether if it is that is the official statement coming from
so
the fire service.
The official
that
statement
only 7 people.
No. Actually, the official statement from the fire service is 3 people died, not 7. 7 is injuries. So maybe you may want to amend your statement because there'll be a factual inaccuracy in there if you report 15.
Then maybe they are trying to. I'm not sure you have seen the state of the STC bus and the number of people that were in that bus. It will surprise me, or I will find it difficult to even be convinced that what they are putting out, that just look at how devastated the bus was. And they are just saying that a bus that was fully loaded, a lot of people, they are just saying 3 people. Well, I don't know where they got the figures from, but you are saying official statement, so that's it.
I think you have to stick to it because the fact that you see a mangled bus doesn't mean everybody on board is dead. I mean, I'm not sure whether you have been involved in an accident before.
I'm not, Omaru.
Yes,
I'm not even much concerned about. That's why I'm saying that even if it is one life that we've lost through the accident, we cannot continue to lose that. One life is even enough.
I get you. I'm just saying that.
So in case the numbers
because you issued an official statement that's going to go in the public record. I'm just letting you know that I think you got the figure wrong. At least, unless you have a contrary fact that supports the 15 dead, we would work with the 3 that is why I'm saying that given to us. So maybe you want to amend your statement.
On the spot account,
people give all kinds of accounts. In fact, 2 days last week there was an accident here in Jamestown or Accra Central. The initial person who called said 30 people died. But when we check, it was just 1 person who died. So after the eyewitness accounts at accident scenes, people come up with all manner of stories. So I'm just saying that don't rely on that. I think it would be better that you rely on that.
Well, our statement, our focus was not even on the number of people who died. Our focus was on the rampant accident that is happening and how we need to take a bold step to be able, a pragmatic step to be able to fix that road so that we will avoid this head-on collusion and more lives losing on that road. That is the position on the minority.
Very well.
That is the position on the minority.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for your time.
Yeah, I'm most grateful.
Honorable Kennedy Osei-Nyako is a ranking member on the Road and Transport Committee of Parliament. He is NPP MP for Achim-Swedru. Let's speak to the STC now, which has been mentioned in this, the State Transport Company, STC. The Deputy Managing Director in charge of Finance and Administration is Nuru Hamidan. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir. I think you're muted. Can you unmute yourself and then you can respond to my greeting? I can see you speaking.
Me now, please.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I think we can just try and get the figure that you're working with out of the way. Your bus was involved in that accident. What is the official figure that you have confirmed as a company, also the fire service?
Before I go there, let me quickly give my brother, the MP, assurance that His Excellency the President is committed in fixing the Kumasi Highway. And there again, it is not true that it is only MPP that did the dual carriage from Accra Kumasi. It is on record that when President Kufuor started and left, Professor Mills came and we continued and we did a bigger portion of that stretch. So government is continuing, and I want to assure him that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would continue not to write his name on the road. John Dramani Mahama doesn't need his name to be on the road. He's committed to the people of this country, and inshallah, by the grace of Almighty, that dual carriage will come on board. My brother, the accident is true. It happened yesterday. And what actually happened is that, but before I even go ahead, I want to register that we have not recorded any death from the STC passengers. Not a single life was lost. What actually happened was that STC vehicle was in front, followed by the private vehicle, and followed by the tanker. So STC car was approaching Kumasi, and the driver saw a danger ahead of him. So he slowed down. You know, our buses normally don't go at top speed. We are careful. We want to ensure the reliability and safety of our passengers. So the private vehicle was right behind STC vehicle, and the tanker was coming at top speed. So when STC car slowed down, the private vehicle also started slowing down, but the speed at which the tanker was coming with could not contain to stop or to slow lower than the speed it was going. So the tanker hits behind the private vehicle and push the private vehicle to also hit the back of STC vehicle. So when that happened, our driver lost control and our bus veered off towards the valley. And of course, the impact is so great that the tanker also veered off. In the process, Omar Sada, I hope you're hearing me.
I'm listening to you, and I'm actually seeing you too.
In the process, the tanker also fell and it exploded. So at that moment, our driver broke his side of the door and he managed to come out. Where he passed to come out, other 10 passengers also followed suit and passed through the driver's door. But at the back of the vehicle, somebody helped them by breaking the window, and the rest of the passengers managed to come out from that window. So all the 31, yesterday, the bus that left with 30 passengers at Circle. When it got to Amasaman, one passenger joined, making 31. All the 31 passengers, as I speak to you, they are safe. I have a manifest. You know, we operate like the way the airlines operate. So when I heard the news, the first thing I did was to get the waybill. And then we got the list of all the people together with our telephone number. We did a cross-check to make sure that all of them were safe. Yesterday, when it happened, we dispatched 2 vehicles to do recovery because we know when such a thing happens, some people may want to continue, others will want to come back. So we met them at Kofredria. Those who want to continue in Kumasi when they were discharged, we actually saw them off and they left to Kumasi. Those who want to come back to Accra, we came with them. So I want to assure our customers and the general public, as far as we are concerned, when it comes to safety and reliability, STC is still on top. And this is as a result of the recent training that we give to our drivers. You know, the other time I told you that we started recording accident and we sent all our drivers to the military school to teach them defensive driving, and when there is a problem, how to navigate their way out of the danger. And that is exactly what the driver exhibited. When it happened, he broke the glass, and then the other places too, the glasses were broke, and they managed to come out. There was an earlier video going in the social media with a driver talking on the phone, saying that only 10 passengers came out, the rest were bent. I want to state on record that it wasn't an interview. The driver was speaking with his friend, telling him what happened, and he was traumatized. And indeed, he said 10 people came out because 10 people came through his door. The other people who used the back door, when they came out, he didn't see them. They were also running away. So the driver at that point was right that he saw only 10 people. But through the back door, The rest of the passengers were able to come out. It's just one or two people that get some bruises. They were treated and they were charged yesterday.
But
so as far as we are concerned, it is only the private driver and the tanker that they lost some people. As to the number, I wouldn't be able to know. I believe that the security authorities who are on the ground will be able to say. So for us, it is not true that so many people, not even a single life, were lost with our car.
It's interesting that you say your drivers have been given military level training, and yet the first thing your driver does is to jump out of an accident vehicle and speak to someone on video, which sounded like an interview, that only 10 people escaped when he hasn't done a head count. If you really indeed trained him military way, he shouldn't be doing that, because that could be the reason the minority, for instance, is concluding that 15 people have died. Because if you had 31 people and only 10 are out,
yes,
I mean, you have more than...
But I agree with you,
yes.
But it's not a military person, of course. Just a 3 months training will not make him a full complete. And it depends on the time that he was talking. Just after the incident, he came out and he was talking. Later on, when he took time to check, he realized that all of his passengers were actually around. So I must acknowledge that, yes, he shouldn't have even speak in the first place. And he's having a conversation. You don't know whether he's speaking to his wife or he's speaking to anybody. And people took a video of it and spread on the social media. I agree with you completely.
He was not talking to his wife.
That conversation is unwarranted.
Deputy MD, he was holding what looked like a towel to his head. He wasn't holding a phone. At least that's what I see. And he was being questioned by the person videoing him. So he was corpus mentis. He knew what he was saying.
No. What I saw would be different from what you saw. What I saw was him holding a phone and talking to somebody. And we actually interrogated him and asked, oh, but you said this. He said, well, that time when it happened, he was traumatized. And because the people escaped through the back door, he didn't know that they were out. So it was later he got to know that, yes, they were out. Mo said that if you and I are not involved in an accident, you say something else. But when you are involved at the thick and thin of it, the experience is different. So I acknowledge that, right, I mean, the driver could have done better by not even putting out that information out. It's something that we're going to work on. We have spoken to him and other drivers that when something like this happens, the best thing is to refer to the operations officer who would grant interview after doing thorough assessment. You don't jump into giving interview when you have not done thorough assessment of the situation. Either than that, it will give a false impression.
So you're saying that on record, none of the 31 passengers on board your bus died. If there was any death, it would be from the tanker or the other private car which were also involved in the collision.
Precisely so, my brother. And I have the manifest with me. If you care, I don't mind sharing it with you. It's not for public, but I don't mind sharing the numbers so that you can even cross-check, call them one by one to ensure that, yes, they are safe. All the 31 people are safe.
Okay, we thank God for that. And thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome, sir.
That's Nuru Hamidan, his Deputy Managing Director in charge of Finance and Administration at the State Transport Company, STC. Earlier, we heard from the Eastern Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Fire Service, Divisional Officer 3, Aaron Ohimin. He explained to us from the fire service perspective what happened. Let's listen to him.
The casualties of the incident happened to be 7, making up 2 females, 5 male. Some of the casualties were sent to the Kipi government hospital. Some were sent to the Hawa Memorial Hospital at Osim. Unfortunately, the news reaching us is the 11-year-old girl who was part of the Kia Sorento vehicle, number GT 860114, had sadly passed away yesterday. Initially, we gathered that the fatalities were 2. That was the occupants of the fuel tanker which ran into the ditch. They were bent beyond recognition. They were charred completely. So with this particular sad news, the passing of the 11-year preteen at the Howard Memorial Hospital, it makes the fatalities to be 3.
So there you have it, the official figure from the Fire Service, the Eastern Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Fire Service, Divisional Officer 3, Aaron Ohimin, speaking to us on City Prime News earlier in the day. And he said 3 people died from that accident. The STC has said none of the 31 people on board their bus died. We do not know how many people were on the tanker and how many people were on the private car, but at least those are the official figures that we are working with. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know that feeling when you're getting ready for work. Your shirt is still crumpled and the iron is just starting to warm up. Or you're late for the wedding and now about to blow dry your hair. Or you have just stocked up meat for the cold store and then suddenly, light off. Life just keeps getting paused. But what if your roof, yes, your roof, could keep things running in your homes and businesses? With EcoBank ASAP, you can switch to solar now by getting a loan to buy solar power systems with no upfront cost and easy repayment. Power your life through EcoBank's vetted solar vendors and lower your power bills over time.
Take back your power with EcoBank ASAP. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Looking for engineering excellence you can trust?
Welcome to Left Signature Limited, driving progress through technology and engineering excellence.
From expert electrical engineering design, installation, power systems, renewable energy, automation and control,
to reliable data center and managed services, power infrastructure, network connectivity, server virtualization, cloud integration and data security,
and cutting-edge software development, custom business applications, web and mobile apps, cloud and DevOps solutions.
Integrity, safety, accountability, teamwork. That's the Left Signature promise.
And now, introducing the Left Power app.
Request for our services anytime, anywhere. Available on the Play Store, App Store, and on the web.
Ready to power your success?
Choose Left Signature Limited. Visit www.leftsignature.com.
Call +233 256 111 811.
Left Signature Limited. Engineering excellence for a connected future.
These days, some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping surfaces. These materials may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work and think well, and you are ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cause you a lifetime discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Talk to them on 0302-231-155 in Accra and 03220-29365 in Kumasi for all your inquiries, or walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. Do not settle for less. Go for quality, but Latex Foam, or else you do yourself. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
A bank that supports you, a bank that cares for you. Hand in hand, we stand with you. So lift your head up, big dreams are waiting. We'll walk with you wherever you go. Where all your dreams come alive. CBG will make you smile. We will rise with you. Your business will flourish. Your name will stand out. Solid basic bank, CBG.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about fuel prices now. Yesterday, the government announced that he had absorbed 2 cedis of the later per price of diesel. It's supposed to take effect today. The GPRTU has a decision to make on whether transport fares will be increased or not. We'll talk about that. The opposition party says the reduction, whether reduction or not, the cost of fuel is on the roofs or is on the ascendancy and has to be dealt with. I'll be hearing from the opposition in a bit, but Fafa Melody Potife is in studio to bring us news summaries from the Citi Newsroom. Fafa.
Well, in more news, the Bono Regional Minister Joseph Attah-Mensah has cautioned traditional leaders against engaging in or facilitating illegal mining, known as galamsey, in their communities. He warned that any chief found aiding or supporting illegal mining activities would be arrested and prosecuted. Mr. Attah-Mensah also announced that the Blue Water Guards have begun full operations in the region.
Some chiefs are also alleged to be involved in illegal mining. If anyone is found complicit, I will ensure they are arrested, including any chief. Just as I would be arrested if I engaged in such an act, I will also ensure that any chief found culpable faces arrest.
Well, that was the Bono Regional Minister Joseph Attah-Mensah. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana has welcomed the government's endorsement of the Constitution Review Committee's recommendation to reduce the minimum age for presidential candidates from 40 to 35. The General Secretary of the Council, Cyril Fayosi, said the proposed reform would create more opportunities for young people to participate in national leadership. He spoke at the signing of 2 memoranda of understanding between the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment and the Christian Council of Ghana.
We also appreciated the government for the white paper that is coming out on the reduction on the age for people to qualify to become president. So to qualify to become president, you don't have to be 40 years, you have to be 35 years. We said that is a very good initiative. We applaud the government for that. They should even do more of such things. They should create the enabling environment for the youth to be in public office or take leadership positions. We know of presidents in advanced countries around the world. In Canada, I believe, and then I think there was one also, a lady in another country, and so on. I mean, who were youth. They were less than 35, and they ran their country excellently.
You just heard the General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Cyril Fayosi. Now, Acting Defense Minister Dr. Cassiel Ato-Forson has paid tribute to the late Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omani-Boamah, describing him as a patriotic and selfless leader who was committed to strengthening the Ghana Armed Forces. Dr. Omani-Boamah was among 8 people who lost their lives in the tragic military helicopter crash on August 6, 2025. Speaking at the maiden annual public lecture held in honor of Dr. Omani-Boamah, Dr. Ato-Forson said the late minister championed reforms aimed at building a modern and professional military while prioritizing the welfare of service personnel.
Today, we celebrate a remarkable Ghanaian. We honor a patriot. We remember a leader who served with integrity, humility, and distinction. Dr. Edward Kofi Omani-Boamah dedicated his life to public service. He served Ghana with conviction. He strengthened our institutions. He believed in leadership, anchored in service and the national interest. As Minister for Defense, he worked to build a modern, professional, and capable Ghana Armed Forces. He focused and placed great importance on the welfare of our service personnel. This lecture series will keep his ideals alive. It will promote dialogue. It will inspire leadership. It will also encourage future generations to serve Ghana with integrity and patriotism.
You are the Acting Defense Minister, Dr. Samuel Attah-Mensah.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. That was Fafa Melody Portugal. Now let's talk about the prices of fuel. Government announcing that 2 cities would be knocked off the liter price on diesel. That should be something that should be celebrated. Dennis Miracles Abuaji he speaks for the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's also the team lead on People's Forum, which has been going on a campaign about the price of fuel and cocoa prices and more. He's joined us on the line. Mr. Abuaji, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Umaru Sanda. Thank you, bro. How you doing?
I'm well. Long time no hear, long time no see. How are you doing?
I'm well, my brother. I'm doing well. Doing very well. Except for the expensive fuel prices, we are fine.
The last time I heard, you had been carried to the mountains to be saved from being flooded in Accra. Has the water in your house receded? Have you returned home now?
I mean, yeah, thankfully. I mean, we've worked our way back. So slowly we are coming back. Yeah, God has been good.
And
Thank you.
And the
Thank you for your prayers.
The Iyoko fight too, is it over yet, or you're still soldiering on?
Oh, how can you fight Iyoko? Iyoko is government. You can't fight government. So,
but you have ghetto people. You have the ghetto people behind you, so you can fight. You can fight. I saw you.
Oh no, they came to solidarize with me in a very difficult situation, and I really appreciate them for that. If you have people showing up, solidarity is always something that is good. It encourages people to stay strong. So yeah, but we can't find government. So I'll not fight.
But out of curiosity, so far, have you been formally charged in any court?
No, not yet.
I see.
As it stands now, no, that has not.
So have you been told why your assets are being frozen?
No, I haven't actually received anything yet from the court.
All right. Let's talk about fuel then, shall we? Yesterday, President Mahama's government did a very bold thing, something you haven't done in 8 years. They've saved the ordinary person by taking 2 cities off the price of diesel. You should be applauding them.
Well, I think if you cause the problem and you try to provide a solution, you cannot ask for applaud. First of all, we are in the situation we are in because of the government. The government is responsible for the macroeconomic management. The government is responsible for ensuring that our cost of living goes down for us. And so if the government, as we speak now, has put us in a situation where fuel prices is so high and we cannot afford, and then he says that he's removing 2 cedi for 1 month. The question is not about how much is removing. It is what impact the 2 cedi is making in the global picture. As we speak, even with the removal of the 2 cedi, fuel prices are still more expensive than it is that they met it. That is the problem. And so, yes, they removed 2 cedi. But if you go to any of the fuel stations, you realize that how much the NDC came to meet a liter of fuel at the pumps is more expensive today, even with the 2 cedi removed, than they met it in 2025. And that's what the Ghanaian people are talking about. Because remember, satisfaction is about what promise you made. The promise was a sacred one to the people of this country. He said he was going to make it cheaper, make it less expensive for the Ghanaian people. In fact, even at a time when the fuel prices were high in 2022, 2023, 2024, he said that the reasons being given by the government to the people for the high prices in fuel was not tenable, and that he doesn't think that a war that is happening in Eastern Europe can have any impact on fuel prices in Ghana. And so today, the question we ask ourselves is, what is the reason why fuel prices is more expensive under this government than they let it? And why is it that what he said whilst he was speaking for our vote is completely opposite to what is transpiring now? Umaru, have you looked at the figures? Have you noticed that in June 2022, Brent crude was selling around $130 per barrel? At that time, a liter of fuel in Ghana was about 11 cedis. That is at a time when international crude price was about $130. Today, international crude price is about $86. About $86, almost close to 50% lower than it was in 2022. And yet, a liter of fuel is selling for 15 cedis, 16 cedis. As for the diesel, it's even inching towards 20 cedis. These are very important questions. And if you remember, in one of our engagements, I told you that this government is running a contradictory economic system that we all need to pay very close attention to. How is it that you have a macroeconomy that is giving us amazing exchange rates, is giving us near 5 to 6% inflation? All the macroeconomic indicators are looking sexy on paper, and yet the cost of living of everything is going up. You have water being increased by about 16%. You have electricity being increased by about 24%. You have fuel oil for industries increased by about 20%. And you have fuel prices out of the roof. The direct impact of this on the Ghanaian economy or the Ghanaian citizenry is high cost of transport. And as you are aware, in this country, immediately transport cost goes up. It translates directly into cost of food and other goods. And so this is not time for the government to try and make excuses or try to run away under some flowery optical, interventions. They need to talk to the Ghanaian people and tell us the real reasons why they promised us a better life, promised us a lower cost of living, and yet we are experiencing a higher cost of living under their leadership. That is a promise not fulfilled. That is a failure. And that is what we are interrogating as we speak, Umaru.
I interviewed Felix Kwachiofosu for Face to Face tonight on Channel 1 TV. He said there are three things that lead to the increase in fuel prices. One, the production cost of crude or the refined oil as we bring into the country. Two, the exchange rate. And three, the taxes that government imposes on the liter of fuel. He said that the cost abroad or the global price of fuel, I mean, at the time you had Russia, Ukraine, now they have Strait of Hormuz, that Ghana can have no control over. What they can have control over, or what government of Ghana can have control over, is the other two elements, which is the exchange rate, which is doing way better than you were doing at the time, and two, removing the excess taxes or taxes that they can manage on the liter of fuel. They have dealt with the exchange rate. They have it under control. So that imagine if the cedi was, say, 17 cedis or 18 cedis now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And two, they have taken off the tax that was going to affect Ghanaians. These are the things they can humanly do as a government, and they have done better at managing it. Can you say same for when you were in power?
That is exactly where the problem is, Umaru. The mere fact that exchange rate is lower and yet the fuel prices are high. The mere fact that inflation is lower and yet the fuel price is high. That is where the problem is. So I agree with him. Imagine if they had the kind of exchange rate we had in 2022 and yet we had a lower fuel price. Imagine if they had 50% inflation.
And I don't think you had a lower fuel price in 2022, sir. You'd want to check that.
See, since they came to office, you remember they brought the fuel price all the way to about 9. You remember?
Yes.
And then now it's almost crossing 20. So 2022.
No, it's not crossing 20. The diesel was 19. Petrol was less. Now they reduced it to
from
17.
90. Where do you go to?
Yeah, but it hasn't reached 20 to cross.
So
They brought it back.
Let me make the point. So let me make the point. So in June 2022, fuel price per liter was 11 cedis. the Brent crude price for the international market was $130. Inflation around that time was how much? Close to about 50%. So he is absolutely right. Felix is right when he says that if the exchange rate was as it was in 2022, 2023, 2024, we will be dead. He's right. Because unlike them, even in that situation where the exchange rate was so high, even in 2023, 2024, the fuel was cheaper than as it is today. That is the very important point he is making. And I like his analysis that in a worse situation under the MPP government, fuel prices were still better than in the sexy situation as he wants to put it. And so you can imagine if they were experiencing what we experienced with the macro economy at that time. After all, they are lucky. We've basically done all the heavy lifting. We've done the DDEPs, we've done the debt restructuring with the international partners, the local debtors, we've done all of those things. We've brought IMF to come and do some work and all of that. So they came at a time when we've done all the heavy lifting. All the hard work had been done with the macro economy. Then they came to experience all the sexy macroeconomic indicators. Remember, before the NDC came to power, our macroeconomic indicators were already improving. We had moved from a 50% inflation to a 23% inflation before they came to office. Almost 50%. We moved our inflation at a faster rate than they have moved it to 5% as we speak. From 50% to 53% thereabout to about 23%. That was a big improvement as compared to them. So he is absolutely right that under the MPP, when inflation was 50%, when the international Brent crude price was $130, when dollar rate was out of the roof, we were selling fuel at a cheaper rate than they are buying today. They came to inherit fuel at 14.99 for super and about 15 for diesel. At that time, inflation was 23% and the exchange rate was 14%. 23% inflation, exchange rate 14%, and yet the fuel was cheaper than it is today, where inflation is 5%, 6%, and exchange rate is about 12 cedis. That is the reality of the contradictory economic management system that we face today. That none of the macroeconomic improvement that he speaks about are impacting the lives of the people, Umaru. That is our reality. And the government needs to look at this reality and begin to put measures in place that will bring real progress to the pocket and the lives of the people. At the moment, it is not enough when you come and show me inflation rate. Because I'll ask myself, if you are showing me 5% inflation, I should clap for you. Good job. Then you show me MPP, 50% inflation, I should clap for you. Good job. Or let me even use the 23%, which they came to meet as inflation. Good job. Bad job. The 5% is better than the 23%. Perfect. But think about this. That the 23% was giving us 14.99 fuel price. And then your 5% is giving us 15.5, 15.6, in some places 16 cedis per liter. That is a problem. Every human being will go for a higher inflation rate with a cheaper fuel and a cheaper transport than a lower inflation rate with a higher fuel and a higher transport cost. Am I lying?
Yes, except that if things were as bad as you are claiming, people would have been on the rooftop screaming. The GPRTU, which I'll be speaking to in a bit, is saying to us that there will be, in fact, I spoke to them last night. They said there will be no need at least to increase fuel prices now because of the government intervention. So if things were bad, we should see it, but the fares are not going up.
But when did you ever see Ghanaian citizens or people not cooperate with government? Government after government, even as when inflation was 50%, you didn't see people put gun to anybody's head in this country. They still worked and cooperated.
No, but we saw.
The fact of the matter is that
we saw increments. I'm saying that we are not seeing increases now.
Wait. Who told you? But wait. Let me give you a very simple, straightforward analysis. A traveler, the Kumasi man that travels from Circle to Kumasi, as of 2025 January, was paying 90 cedis for a VIP bus. Today, he's paying 120 cedis to 150 cedis. That is the impact of the bad macroeconomic management. So what are you talking about? At the time when inflation was 23%, when he's traveling from Circle to Kumasi in a VIP bus, he was paying 90 cedis. At the time when inflation is 5%, when he's traveling from Circle to Kumasi, he's paying 120 to 150 Ghana cedis. So what are you talking about? Already the impact has been felt. The damage has already been done. The impact on transport fares has already been felt. What the GPRTU is telling you today is that they appreciate the 2 cedis because, of course, but for the 2 cedis, the 15 cedis per litre will be 17 cedis per litre. So they appreciate, no doubt about that. Why wouldn't they appreciate? And we should applaud them for their sensitivity. But it doesn't lift the burden of the government, and it doesn't cover up the cluelessness of the government of the day, who is only giving us flowery talk and doing very little in terms of real impact. And I repeat, real impact to the lives of the people. Umaru, listen, we need to be frank with this government and tell them the truth. They keep to anytime you bring this government's attention to the hardship in the country, they will run towards the macroeconomic indicators. And we keep telling them the macroeconomic indicators are meaningless if they do not reflect in the lives and the pockets of the people. So somebody was at 23% inflation, 14% dollar exchange rates, and yet and then 14.9 fuel price, and yet electricity was 24% lower than we have today. Why do you think anybody would have voted for you against that government? That I was paying about 1,000 Ghana cedis for electricity. You came to tell me that 1,000 cedis is too expensive and that I should vote for you. When I vote for you, I will pay less. Now I vote for you. You come to office and I'm now paying 1,240 Ghana cedis. And when I ask you why I am paying 1,240 Ghana cedis, you are telling me that I am paying that much because inflation has come to 5%. Is that what you are saying? Why wouldn't I go for the 23% inflation? Why wouldn't I go for the 14 cedis fuel? Why would I go for the 14 cedis exchange rate? Of what use is 12 cedis to $1 to me when I'm paying more for water now than I was paying when the dollar was 14 cedis? Of what use is 5 cedis inflation to me when I am paying 24% more for electricity than I was paying when inflation was 23%? That is the truth of the matter. And Umaru, see, this thing is reflected in every aspect of the lives of the people.
Okay.
So when you say they should be in arms, the question I ask you is, what are their options? What would they do? They can't do anything about it. We are in a democratic dispensation. The government needs to finish its tenure. See, a woman who is going to pay for fees.
If you could just indulge me, I would like to give me the other elements. I want to hear from the GPRTU briefly so that you can kindly stay on and listen in. That's Dennis Miracle Abuaji. I have him on the line. Let me speak to Samuel Attah-Mensah, his Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of the GPRTU. Mr. Attah-Mensah, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, sir.
What is the consequence of the government's announcement yesterday that 2 cedis will be taken off the price per litre of diesel to you as vehicle operators or transport operators?
All right, so thank you very much for this opportunity. Good evening to you and good evening to your listeners. Yes, this announcement of 2 cedis reduction on the diesel price, first we appreciate what the president has done. Had it not been this intervention, then it means that we are going to buy diesel almost about 20 Ghana cedis a litre. But then let me take you a little backward to when we decided to increase our transport fares by 10%. After when we were also invited by the Transport Ministry, by then the diesel price was around 17 to 18 cedis. And the petrol too was in between 14 to 15 cedis. When we decided on this, we were asked to hold on because of the promise given to us that, going forward, the government is trying to put in some measures to make sure that the fuel price will come down, as well as the other component that we normally complain of. So it was rather unfortunate when the recent price window, we also experienced another increment instead of the reduction that we were looking at. Then the increment came in, and President has also, responded by reducing the diesel by 2 cedis. we are not saying that what the president has done, we don't appreciate. We appreciate very well. But it has again come back to the state where it was that we decided to, do our increments. So basically, the reduction has come all right, but drivers are still, in a hardship. You work and at the close of the day, you use all your money to go and buy, fuel. Most of the drivers cannot even meet their sales. So it's quite difficult for the drivers that I'm speaking to you.
That means the overall effect of what you're saying is that you would have to increase the fare now.
Well, we had that intention of, increasing transport fares. We met with the transport ministry after a whole lot of deliberations, together with the other transport unions. We were made to understood that this intervention is taking from this time to about a month. And after the month, we don't know what will happen. And that even during the course of the month, price window do open twice. So because we all know very well that anytime transport price goes up, it affects everything in the country. And so therefore, we were asked to, talk to our members to hold on for now, to see what will happen, going forward. Then we also take our final decision. Actually, it was a very hard pill for us to swallow, but because we also know that transport fare increment will also, bring everything, on a higher side. That is why, as I'm speaking to you, we have decided to hold on for now to see that going forward what will happen.
How long are you holding on for?
Yes, President said that he is cushioning us for 1 month. First window will open in the middle of August. Then the last one for this month will also open by the end of August. So we are holding on to see the middle of the month, the price, the pump price, what we see there. Then the last one too. So latest from this time to about a month, we know what to do.
Which means that anyone listening to us now who takes the trotro to work or home should be rest assured that at least for the next 4 weeks or so, you wouldn't be increasing fares, at least not in relation to what the cost of fuel would be.
Yes. But then we are looking, we are just monitoring that it will not go up. If it goes up, then, we also approach the transport ministry to think of what to do.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
That's Samuel Attah-Mensah, his Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of the GPRTU. Dennis, Miracle Abuaji, you've heard him there. And this is similar to what I was trying to say to you earlier, that you are suggesting to us that we are in hardship, but the people who would implement the hardship, which would affect all of us, are saying, at least for now, for the next 4 weeks or so, that we shouldn't expect an increment. So why are you trying to convince us that we are in hardship when the GPRTU is saying that no increase in trotro fare?
So you see, you didn't listen to the GPRTU guy, and I find it very insensitive on your part.
I did. I listened to him. He talked about challenges that they had. The reason they wanted to increase.
So why are you?
Hold on. He talked about challenges they had, why they needed to make an increment at a certain point. Then the government came in, and then they've had to rescind that increment. And this time around, they would have increased if it hadn't been for the presidential intervention. And he is grateful to the president for the reduction in the cost of diesel. And that's why I asked him the question. The overall effect of what he's saying is that there will be no increment. And so he said, yes, they will not increase, at least for this.
So let's applaud. So you see, applaud the man, but don't water down his legitimate concerns. Because at this point, they are really sacrificing by deciding not to increase. Because as he mentioned to you, even the 2 cedi removal still brings them to the point where they were going to increase. But of course, because they've seen the intervention of the 2 cedi, they also have to show goodwill. It's extremely important that you put the issue GPRTU is making into proper perspective. And understand that these are private business people who are trying to also contribute to the economy. And they must be paid attention to. Listen, Umaru, as we speak, the country is on autopilot, especially when it comes to the aspects of fuel management. We are the beck and call of Donald Trump and Netanyahu and the IRGC in Iran. Today, we are talking about a 2 cedi removal at a time when Brent crude is $86 per barrel. If tomorrow it moves to $100 per barrel, how much more can we hold? And that is why we need to have that very important conversation to look at the issue holistically. Because if you don't look at it holistically and you continue to make excuses which don't hold water anyway for the government, we are all going to sink. That international crude prices are $86 and you are selling fuel at 15 cedis, even after government subsidizing for 2 cedi, is mad, as the boys will say on the streets. It's wild. Because that 2 cedi itself is suspended for just a month. Government is losing close to about 600 million or so Ghana cedis by removing the 2 cedis. How long can they suffer that revenue leakage if this continues? So the biggest question government should be answering is, what is a long-term strategic plan to ensure that these things do not continue to happen? Because the question is, how long can the anchor hold? So the GPLTU are the ones who really deserve accolades in this particular situation. Because the guys have suffered so much. They've cushioned so much. They've sacrificed so much. But how long can they survive? Because eventually, if they continue this way, and as there is no proper plan by the government, except the government is hoping that tomorrow morning when we wake up, there will be no conflict at the Strait of Hormuz. That is all. It's just a hope. And as you know, hope is not a strategy. So government is hoping that, by the end of the month or by mid-August, there will be no war at the Strait of Hormuz. What if there is war at the Strait of Hormuz? What would happen?
But remember, Dennis, when we had COVID, we were all hoping that COVID would go. When we had Russia, Ukraine, we were all hoping that it would go so things would stabilize. And that's why we blamed everything on that. What is wrong blaming that now? Because it's not as if as a country we've had a system where we store fuel or petroleum products for 3 months or 1 year.
Because the people believe that we now have a government that made it very clear when they were pitching to us that they are not affected by COVID or international conflict. The context is very important.
Yeah, but the context
excuses were made.
But I'm kind of the context is what I said to you in Felix Kwachiofosu's comments to me earlier. That
is not acceptable.
Just a second. That if there's an underlying problem, then Russia, Ukraine would just come and annihilate us, or COVID would just come and annihilate us. But then they don't have an underlying problem because their exchange rate is at a very manageable level, and that the taxes on the price of fuel has also been dealt with by the government. Those are the two things they have control over. The other ones they can only hope and pray, because I
agree with him.
Hello?
I have agreed with him.
Okay.
I have agreed with him, and I told you earlier that I agree with Felix that indeed exchange rate is 5%, dollar rate is 12.5, and we are buying fuel at 15 cedis, even with a subsidy of 2 cedis. The reverse is that in our worst form under the previous government that was kicked out for him, Felix and co, exchange rate was about 14, inflation was about 23%, and yet it was way less than it is today. That is what we are saying. So Felix is right. That is why I say that our situation would have been terrible under this government if they had the kind of macroeconomic indicators that we had. Because Umaru, is it not strange that the government that had 23% inflation was selling fuel cheaper than you that has 5% inflation? Is it not strange that the government that had 14% exchange rate sold fuel cheaper than you, who is having 12.5 cedis as exchange rate? So Felix is absolutely right, but that really exposes their cluelessness in ensuring that macroeconomy translates into impacting in positive sense the microeconomy. Umaru, in a society like ours, macroeconomy is nothing if it does not have a direct impact on the microeconomy. Everything we are doing in a developing country like Ghana, with our macroeconomy or our macroeconomic indicators, is to see it reflect positively in the microeconomy, which is the pockets of the people. So I am still struggling to understand the kind of logic Felix is pushing on us, that we should applaud the government that gives us 5% inflation. We should applaud the government that gives us 12 cedis exchange rate and is selling fuel to us at 15 cedis. And rather ignore a previous government that gave us 23% inflation, 14 cedis exchange rate, but sold fuel to us cheaper than you. What is the essence of macroeconomic indicator? That is what we are talking about.
Very well.
That is the crux of the conversation. And for me, I think that is what we should elevate the debate to. We cannot continue to allow this government to continue to jump around and move around and ignore the crux of the issues. The debate must be held. And the debate must be held in context and with the substance.
All right.
But the wishy-washy nature of having the conversation and the deflection of the government, they are majoring in the minors and minoring in the majors, and the people continue to suffer. Umaru, it is not helping our country. And it's high time the government realizes that, hey, you have 4-5 months for you to finish with your second year. You have read 2 of your budget. You have only 2 more budgets to go. Sit down, step back, focus on the things that matter to the people, and let's fix it for the good of our country.
Let's leave it here.
That is what Felix needs to focus on.
Let's leave it here before Ioko comes for you and takes me in addition.
I know, I agree with you, because even you have to go and mention your name there, Umaru. Are you not my friend?
I've never seen 55 million CDs before, Dennis.
But okay, but you saw the 102 million, didn't you? So they'll come for you.
All the best. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, bro. All the best, bro.
That's Dennis Miracles Abuaji, his team lead for the People's Forum and spokesperson to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the NPP flag bearer. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know that feeling. A hospital bill that arrives out of nowhere. A diagnosis you weren't prepared for. A system that seems designed to confuse you and costs that keep climbing. And the stress of not knowing if you're protected. Eden isn't lost. Eden Care was created to give it back to you. Eden Care is health insurance made for everyday family life. With Eden Care, getting healthcare is easy and you are backed by a trusted insurance partner with years of experience. No confusing terms, just complete protection for your entire family. Step back into peace. Step into experience you can rely on. Reach out right now at 059-692-1844 and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care is brought to you by Acacia Health Insurance, a member of the Enterprise Group.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said, come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapade doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master plan gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands. The Ejapade they will be proud of. Visit woodlands.devtracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208-732-302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
Deftraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Nek Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Just gone by, I had an interview with Dennis Miracles Abuaji, who is team lead for the People's Forum. He is complaining about the cost of fuel and a number of other issues arising from same. Let me go to the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. They are the regulator of the downstream sector for petroleum. Godwin Edwiji Tamaklo, a CEO of the NPA, is joining us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Am I talking to Sanda?
Yes, please.
Okay, Sanda. For Nama.
What can you do? I mean, we were in opposition together. You are in government alone. I'm still in opposition, so I'm concerned. But let's leave it like that.
No,
I mean, we are being honest right now. The cost of petrol is affecting me. It's not affecting you. So I cannot. We are no more family. There is a what says I should tell you that all your macroeconomic indicators are looking good, but the price of fuel is going high because you are clueless government. You have no way of managing the cost of fuel. You are just sitting with your hands in between your thighs or laps and watching. You're just praying for a miracle from God that Iran and Israel and America, they end their war so that things will look good. Otherwise, the country's on autopilot, essentially what he said.
Okay, so Omaro, ordinarily I shouldn't be responding to miracle. With the greatest of respect. I mean, we should take every lesson, but not from miracle on governments. I mean, we communicated Dr. Bawumia's campaign into opposition with the biggest electoral defeat ever seen. I mean, that's his record. I mean, miracle is just talking simply because he just wants to remain relevant ahead of the September or so election. Beyond that, with the greatest of respect to him, what exactly is the substance in the claims that he is making? Look, Maru, on the 1st of May 2022, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo met organized labor. Organized labor in the General Secretary that the cost of fuel was extremely, in fact, at a point, it got as high as 3 Ghana cedis per every liter of diesel. When organized labor pleaded with the then President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that, Mr. President, fuel prices are high. Please intervene. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in addressing organized labor, told them that his government has no solution in resolving the fuel prices, and that if he intervenes, it was going to impact on government's revenue. That is the NPP's record. That is the record that Miracle communicated into opposition. First of all, as a person who championed Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia's campaign into opposition, I think he should be sober, reflect. What are the issues, Omaro? Before 28th February 2026, and Omaro, please check the date, 28th February 2026, a metric ton of diesel was trading as $794 per metric ton. Omaro, as at 29th day of July 2026, the same metric ton It's now trading, okay, at $1,333 from 794 to 1,333. And Miracle is saying that the government is clueless. What is the basis of this cluelessness? That President John Dramani Mahama, okay, should tell the international community or whatever that a metric ton should not sell at 1,333. Is that his contention? 2, Omaro. The premium the BBCs and others pay on such imported products as at February was $50. Today, that premium is $220. That's about 100% increase, if my arithmetic is correct. Miracle is basically telling you and I that unlike the president that he served, we have a different president who, in the midst of this uncertainty, is not telling the people of this country that I can't do anything. He is not telling Ghanaians that you're on your own. There is a clear evidence of thinking outside the box. The president has asked the agency responsible or the authority responsible for regulating the downstream that come up with a solution to cushion the impact on Ghanaians. Tomorrow, with the greatest of respect, if you recall, somewhere around April, May, the government, led by President John Dramani Mahama, took steps on every liter absorbed 2 cedis. That is on record. Today, the president, through cabinet intervention, as I once again said, the authority responsible for the downstream should take another step to absorb 2 cedis on every liter of diesel purchase. And Miracle says, I don't understand. So what exactly does Miracle want the government to do? Not to act? Because when you act, the NPP has a problem. If you don't act, they have a problem. What kind of a position is this? Meanwhile, your record, and I'm giving you the date. In fact, I can share the video recording, and I think you even have that. Citi FM, one of the most authoritative platform in this country, should have it. When Nana Danko Kufuado, the president that Miracle said, told organized labor right in their face that there is nothing, that if I help you in reducing the price of fuel, which went as high as 23 Ghana cedis per every liter, if I help you, I will lose revenue. So I will keep the revenue so you can suffer. Another president says, no, I will find a solution to it. And instead of people like Miracle demonstrating humility, they are still arrogantly speaking to the people of this country as though they have any better record. In any case, Omaro, with respect, where from this sudden competence? Where from this sudden competence? Where from this sudden knowledge on how to do things right? Isn't it the same NPP?
He said, Miracle.
There are 3 primary things involved in fuel pricing. The FOB price, the exchange rate, the tax components. I want us to do this assessment. The FOB component constitutes about 60 to 61% in terms of the pricing. Tax together with the exchange rate impact together is about 39%. Tomorrow, the thing that carries 60%, obviously the weight in terms of the pricing mechanism is higher. And like I pointed out to you, before this war, a metric ton was going for $794 per metric ton. As at 29th day of July, that same metric ton is selling for $1,333. That's almost about 80% increase in that price. And the increase is what exactly?
He said, and I want to just give you the figures. He said that, oh, sorry, I think I've lost Eduji Tamaklo there. He's the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. Apologies for that. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll do business news and then talk back.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Everybody they sell, but your shop they empty.
Where's my report?
Bro, month no end here too. But see, your pocket stop they take. Another emergency for the house.
Come me get ideas. Ideas go kill them.
Another idea, another mark time. No capital to start. For some people, this silence no be peaceful. It be money matter.
With bills, there's no need for silence. From my emergency loans to salary loans to working capital loans and startup loans, Bills has you covered.
Apply with your Ghana card today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390. Bills, financing your needs. T's and C's apply.
Ufie betumi adani baby a upebia. Betumi adani stadium.
What a strike!
Ana fa kwa yebu TV and computer game wo. Aha! Yeko atoda betumi adani classroom.
Madam me pacho menti ase.
Yo, yes am fa so bio. Ne wo he na wonti ase no.
Nini na.
Betumi adani office.
Aha, orders no ahina ye ready. Okay, Mundi can fanko is the gun.
Betumi po, that's why you fa kwa. Ye hwehwemu wo.
Daddy, e dey na big bang theory.
Chain, mami bisa chat GPT.
Ubetimi amofie adani baby a opese eyibia efise emfa ho ne ne opese oye wo fie MTN fiber betimi aboa amwoye ya 500 Mbps unlimited internet and bo no form a free 299 Ghana cedis echo for MTN fiber bra fie ana wadwuma mu ede for my MTN app no so ana sebo *5057# but check fiber availability no so ana say number e wo gen no na reset fiber broadband oh baby, what's in what? Not to be a naya.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Earlier in the beginning of the show, we talked about the Accra-Kumasi Highway and the need to dualize it. Now, there's a very beautiful interchange that has been done at Pokwasi. Underneath that interchange, a toilet has been built. And we are told that there's a municipal assembly that allowed for a public toilet to be put under that toll booth. Or not toll booth, under the interchange. Akwete Agbo, or Agbo Akwete, is the municipal chief executive for Ghana, which has the Pokwasi interchange under its jurisdiction. Mr. Agbo, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
Why did you allow for a toilet to be put at a very beautiful interchange that we have been celebrating as a 60-year interchange?
Okay, first of all, I thank you. I would like to give...
You sound very far. If your phone is on loudspeaker or you're using a Bluetooth device, kindly disconnect so I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'm saying that before I start, I would like to greet your listeners. And I want to also state that the assembly, or I did not grant anybody permit to go to the toilet at the interchange.
I heard somewhere that you said the people were defecating around the place, so your solution was to provide them a toilet there.
Oh, no, I think probably maybe the person listening to him maybe decides to choose his own ways.
I see.
I didn't say anything as such.
But is there a toilet?
And even we have a land around that enclave. So to put up a public toilet, there are so many land available that we can put up the public toilet.
Okay, but is there a public toilet under the interchange?
No.
Is there a public toilet near the interchange, the Pokwasi interchange?
What was on the social media was an attempt to build a public toilet there, which was stopped by the assembly.
What level did that construction get to before the assembly stopped?
I think it's just the structures. Is the structures. No manhole was jacked, nothing. But they built a wall. No. Yes, it's just a wall. No manhole. And you cannot have any public toilet or any toilet without a manhole.
Okay. And they were building this under the interchange?
And yes, around, you see the interchange, yes, let's say under the interchange, yes.
Who was building it? The assembly?
No.
Who was building it?
A private developer.
Who gave him the authority to do so?
The assembly didn't give him any authority to put up such a toilet.
Did you contract this private developer to put up a toilet at any place in your district?
What the assembly intended doing was to decongest Pokwasi junction, and the place where we found was around the interchange. There are cubicles that is meant for maybe mini station or taxis in case. So we intended to develop that place. So that resulted in that abandoned toilet facility. Then, I want to also draw your attention.
No, I just wanted to understand. So my question was whether you had given this private developer the permission to build a toilet anywhere in your municipality.
No. We gave him a permission to put up to actually prepare the place, prepare the grounds. So in attempt to
prepare the ground for
also,
what?
For the taxi terminal.
Not to build a toilet.
No, it's part of of the package. But
so you are now confirming that you are the one who gave that private developer the permission to build a toilet. You have just said that.
No, not that place. That is why we stopped it. In fact, it's not yesterday or maybe a month ago. Since last year.
You stopped him because of the social media outcry, didn't you?
No. We stopped him last year ago. Even if your media men that went there and they came to my office, we went there together. They just left my office barely some few minutes ago. There's nothing there like a manhole, nothing. We stopped him. We didn't stop him because of a social media. The only mistake that we made was we didn't demolish the structure. But this facility, that structure was halted since last year.
The attempt to build a toilet at that place, was it against your laws as an assembly?
No, you see, it's not against our laws as an assembly, but where he cited it's not appropriate because one, it is at the curve, and in case any car is overspeeding, and maybe it can easily land over there. So.
And yet, with all the city guards you have, the construction work started. City guards who sit at the back of pickups and stop people from building by writing stop work. They didn't stop these ones from working.
In fact, Omar, this is one of the biggest challenges that we face as a municipality. You know, people at times do things at the blind side of the assembly. In fact, currently, even today, we're embarking on the demolition exercise, trying to free up Pokwasi area, and this issue came up. Initially, I was confused because I knew we're not putting up in the toilet facility around any interchange. So initially, I thought it was some of the food bridges along the some high streets before later on my attention was drawn to that, because I'm expecting that it has been cleared way back. So what I want your listeners to know is that this is something that we've halted since last year. Okay. And the best thing that my task force should have done is to clear the structures that we've raised.
Last question, so you gave this private developer the contract to redevelop the taxi rank in that area, and the redevelopment also included the building of a toilet. Okay, where was he supposed to build a toilet if not where he built it?
Good. So if you go there, there's a forest along the interchange.
Forest?
We call it a small forest.
You mean a bush?
Not a bush. Yes, a bush.
Because I'll be surprised if we have a forest at the Pokwasi interchange. That would be very surprising.
Yes, I'll call it a forest because we have a big, like, it's a place that it has been reserved. Oh. It's a reserved area.
So you wanted him to build a toilet there?
Just there's a buffer around that place.
So it's like a swampy area.
Yeah, not a swampy area. It is a hilly area which to be good for such.
Okay, so you still go and build a toilet, but then it will not serve the purpose because it will be a distance away from the park. You want the people?
No, it's just let's say maximum 200 meters or less than that.
So that one will happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Because see, now the area is developed, and if we don't have such a facility there, because the place is now developing, people come there, in fact, they will be defecating along the interchange, which we need to provide such a facility.
Right.
So that in case maybe anybody want to ease themselves, they can go there. But where it was cited is actually something that, in fact, is wrong, which we stopped it since last year. But
so if I call the private developer on the line now, he would not say to me that you gave him clearance to build a toilet where he's building.
No.
You are sure?
No. If it's something that we are actually in support, we could have finished it long time ago.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
Akweti Agbo is the Municipal Chief Executive for Ghana North, which has Pokwasi underrates Pokwasi interchange, which has been a subject of controversy for years now. The latest being the fact that there was an attempt to build a public toilet right under the interchange. And on that very disturbing piece of news, I bring in Nashika Caesar to sanitize for us by bringing us business news.
Hi, Sanda.
But you know that toilet is it's a big business.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
toilet is big
now,
business.
how much they charge for the public ones?
Well, having used one since I left Ashaiman many years ago. When I was in Ashaiman after secondary school, we used to use one around the opposite the main station. I think it was 50 pesos.
How many years back was that?
2007, 2006.
Oh, wow. So now it should be way more.
Maybe 5 cedis. They give you tissue and then you buy cigarettes and then you smoke it. You have to be smoking. You have to smoke the scent away.
Why?
Otherwise,
you wouldn't survive the place.
Please give us business news.
The Ghana reference rate has increased marginally to 10.61% for August 2026 from 10.59% recorded in July, signaling continued stability in lending conditions across the banking sector. The latest adjustment, which takes effect from August 5, 2026, follows July's upward revision, which ended months of consecutive declines in the benchmark rates. Here's more.
For businesses seeking credit, the marginal rise means the cost of accessing new loans is unlikely to decline significantly this month. Companies looking to finance expansion projects, acquire equipment, or support working capital needs may continue to operate in an environment where borrowing costs remain relatively elevated compared to earlier in the year, when the reference rate was on a downward path. However, the limited increase indicates that financing conditions remain broadly favorable, supported by easing inflation and improving macroeconomic stability. Commercial banks are expected to maintain a cautious approach to lending as they balance credit growth with risk management. The slightly higher reference rate could provide some support for banks' interest margins, while lenders continue to assess borrowers based on credit quality, industry risks, and repayment capacity. With economic activity showing signs of recovery, banks are also expected to compete for stronger corporate and retail customers as demand for credit gradually improves. Borrowers with loans tied to the Ghana reference rate may see only minimal changes in repayment obligations when their facilities are repriced. Given the small adjustment, any increase in monthly loan payments is expected to be marginal. Customers with fixed-rate loans will not be affected unless they choose to renegotiate or refinance their facilities. The August rate points to a stabilizing interest rate environment after the benchmark moved upward in July. The latest adjustment, however, suggests that while the decline in lending costs has paused, there is no immediate indication of a sharp tightening in credit conditions.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has called for stronger safeguards in the restructuring of distressed companies. He stressed that financially distressed companies should not automatically qualify for rescue, noting that access to new funding alone is not sufficient evidence of a business's long-term viability. Speaking at a forum on restructuring distressed companies, non-performing loans and post-commencement financing, Dr. Isiama said Ghana must develop a robust business rescue framework that preserves viable firms while safeguarding the stability of the financial system.
Ghana does not have to choose between liquidating every distressed business and relaxing standards to keep businesses alive. A disciplined rescue framework can preserve viable businesses while protecting financial stability. Rescue must begin with a credible test of viability. A business may be distressed without being fundamentally unviable. A cash flow shock, changing market conditions, or a mismatch between receivables and obligations, these may place a sound business under severe pressure. So during restructuring, it may need financing to retain employees, purchase inputs, and complete existing contracts, without which productive capacity may be destroyed and creditors may recover less. But the need for money is not evidence of viability. Most distressed companies do need money indeed. The first question is whether new money can reasonably restore the business to sustainable operations.
You heard there the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, though, ARB Apex Bank increased its profits before tax to 34.56 million Ghana cedis in 2025, up from 25.44 million cedis a year earlier. However, the bank is still working through the effect of the domestic debt exchange program, which has left it with an accumulated loss of about 28 million Ghana cedis and prevented it from recommending dividends. Speaking to the media on the sidelines of the bank's 24th annual general meeting, its managing director, Curtis William Bruntiu, said the bank expects to resume dividend payments once it has cleared the accumulated losses.
The reason why the DDP is still in our books because we had about 110 a negative of about 110 million Ghana cedis doing the DDP. So we are now unwinding. So as we make profits, we are unwinding. So the DDP is going down. And consequently, because of that, our books are impaired because of the DDP. So we cannot pay dividends to our shareholders. So as soon as we unwind and we come to a 0 point on the DDEP, then we can pay dividends to our shareholders with the approval of the Bank of Ghana.
Curtis William Bruntiu is the managing director of ARB Apex Bank. Now, used car dealers are demanding the withdrawal of the planned pre-export verification of conformity program for vehicle export. They warn that the policy, which is expected to take effect on October 1, could threaten livelihoods and lead to widespread job losses across the automobile industry. We have more.
Under the new policy, vehicles more than 10 years old from their date of manufacture will be prohibited from entering the country. Vehicles with broken, cracked, bent or twisted chassis will also be deemed unfit for exportation. In addition, the Ghana Standards Authority will not certify vehicles that fail to meet the minimum Euro 2 exhaust emission standard. To enforce the requirements, the authority has introduced a pre-export verification of conformity program. This means all used vehicles destined for Ghana must undergo inspection and receive a valid certificate of conformance before being shipped from the exporting country. Authorities say the measure is intended to prevent unsafe and substandard vehicles from entering the country. But used car dealers are strongly opposing the implementation, arguing that the policy threatens their businesses and the livelihoods of thousands of people within the automobile value chain.
I think things should be watched well so that it helps the local industry. We are talking of 10 years issue. When you go outside there, their standard of living, everything is higher. But still, they do keep, even 2004 car is being used. In 1988, all that cars are being used. Even they are developed, they plan their country well. We are a third country that we are struggling to survive. So we can't compare ourselves to those people. Though we need our safety, roadworthiness, and other things. But things should be considered. If not, we are collapsing our local industry.
This thing, I don't understand. I will never agree because to affected me. Now I have the same car, 2007. So what I'm going to do it? So government is supposed to help us so that we also, in future, they will help us. Because right now, if we're seeing this car's 20 million, 27. In fact, it will affect us. We have family at home that we are taking care of them. We all depend on this thing that we are doing. So if we want to plan it, what are we going to do?
Some dealers are also calling for a grace period to allow them to sell their vehicles already imported into the country and reduce potential financial losses.
People are really very, very panicking about the situation and so on. So that's why we are appealing to the government to see to it, and then maybe if you can then pull back a little for us to manage ourselves. I think that one will be, very good.
And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. We have more business-related stories on our website, citynewsroom.com. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for listening.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. It's now time for Talk Back, which is brought to you by Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions. This is a time to hear from you in Talk Back. And Emil Akwensevi in Akwemufi says, too much accident on the Accra-Kumasi transit. The expressway will come and reduce the rampant accident on that stretch. Condolences to the bereaved family. That's what you have said. This one's from Akapo Jina and Hafumim says, we sympathize with the victims of the deadly accident and also share our condolences with the bereaved. We hope government will consider and take appropriate measures to speed up work on the highway. Jones Aduboyinla says the alarming proportion at which road accidents are claiming more lives today leaves much to be desired. The Road Safety Agency must act fast before it is too late. Abi National in Wa says, even though the minority were not able to construct Accra-Kumasi Road, President Mahama is committed to finishing it with a big push, including Wa Bamboy, inshallah. This one says, we all know that Nanado took the road to Apedra because that leads to his... leads to the hometown of the road minister. If you were committed to extend the road to Kumasi, you wouldn't have taken it to Apedra. Okay. Anyas Ghazali in Tamale Central says, the recent increase in road accidents on our roads is alarming and heartbreaking. We in the northern region are equally appealing to government to consider fixing the roads. This one says, let's be honest with ourselves. There's so much pressure on the Accra-Kumasi Road because of the failure of successive governments all over the years to pay attention to the Eastern Corridor Road from Tema all the way to the northern regions, which according to experts is even shorter from Accra to the north. So that's Kofi in Accra. President Kufuor handed over to the NDC before Nanado came to power. They didn't do it. Mohammed Yakub from Tamale Central. Honorable Nyakun is being hypocritical and plays the ostrich when their party was in power for 8 years. They couldn't finish with the Accra-Kumasi Highway and lost power massively to the NDC for 1 year, 6 months, and 28 days today. They should give the NDC a break. That's Cornelius in Sunyani. KS in Ayimensa says, let Mr. Nyaku know that bad roads do not cause a head-on collision. Careless driver attitude does. The minority's political stance on the issue is becoming nauseating. KK from Ntonsu says, are you serious with the number of deaths from the accident? Bro, don't trivialize the issue. I drive on that route monthly to send my mom to hospital. Our leaders in this country don't think about us. So I was referring to the fire service, which has the official records, unless you have a contrary fact. Amasaman, Ibrahim Abdul Mumin from Amasaman Darussalam says, Honorable Kenneth Osinyaku, why? You guys are killing the NPP. You can speak your truth quietly with fact and still be heard. It shouldn't be all about noise making. Repent. Isaac in Kaswayon City says, why do politicians enjoy doing politics with everything? Listen to what the MP is saying. Instead of him to accept that he's misinforming listeners with inaccurate figures, he rather prefers to argue it. Isaac Niendo in Tamale says, this is not the time for politics. People lost their lives. Others are injured. Have respect for the families. Yakubu bin Chambers in Wale says, I have been clamoring for the dualization of the Accra-Kumasi highway via Tamale to Paga Road for a year now on social media. You can't just fathom the thought pattern of our leaders in this country. Akasokri Joseph in Bongo says the only person using the name miracle is doing absolutely nothing that comes close to a miracle. In November 2022, the world market price for a barrel of oil ranged from as low as $84 to a high of $94. Angelo Kojofiagbe says prices of fuel are skyrocketing because monies meant to mitigate prices at points like this are being stolen. This one has no name. Okay, let me read this one with a name. It says, what kind of voodoo calculation is Miraculous Miracle doing? That's Ken Jilenu Inunwa. Felix in Adabraka says, tell those NPP guys that in life we move forward. Do they mean if they were maintained in power, the fuel would have remained same after 2 years? Solar in Anloga. He says, someone with 5 bank accounts, 15 acres of land, and 4 houses is saying he's feeling hardship. Dennis should give us a break and return our money. Abuaji Caleb Apia from Domi says, what my senior brother, Honorable Dennis Miracle, seeks to highlight is that while in opposition, the current government heavily criticized fuel prices and made political capital out of it. Today, the reductions we are seeing are not necessarily out of goodwill, but out of political necessity. Well, that's how we end tonight's edition of Eyewitness News, which came to you from our studios in Accra. I am Omaru Sandamado. We return tomorrow with more. Produced tonight by Beverly Landon, Sami Wiafe, Fretete Jabano, Kobina Wilson, Juliana Odami Asari. Technical support from Desmond Nyaku. Edwin Kwakofi led the new media team to keep us online. We'll be back tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.